We've heard it a million times before, the quarterback is the most important player on a team. We're used to the classic, if only they had a decent quarterback, and it's an argument that often seems to make a lot of sense. Maybe if the Browns had a better quarterback, they would have won their first game against the Packers on Sunday, rather than seeing it slip out their hands with an interception. So I thought, why not remove all the speculation and doubt? I've made it so that every team in the NFL has a perfect quarterback, and they are all identical in rating, 99 everythings with the same attributes. So now quarterback position is no longer an excuse for any team, and it's down to the rest of the positions, the coaches, the schemes, and maybe the strength of the home crowd. Okay, not the strength of the home crowd, it's just Madden. So every team has a 99 rated quarterback now, so let's see what this season would look like if that was the case. Here we are, start of the 2017 season. Every team, just like these Jets, have a 99 rated quarterback, as I've already explained. So all we have to do is basically sim through the season and see what happens. It's all down to the rest of the team now. No more excuses at that also vital position of the quarterback. Down to the coaches, down to the players, what can they do? So nothing left to do but sim the season. Let's find out what happens when every team in the NFL has a perfect quarterback. So here we are, we finished the season, so let's take a look at what's important, the end of season stats, everything. Let's see who made the playoffs, let's see who won awards. And I was going to take a look at the stats first, but the standings have interested me. If you take a look at this, it's crazy to see how, well, a lot of ties and things. I think the fact that we've got, quarterbacks. No, that doesn't, the Titans, I was going to say the fact that we've got good quarterbacks on every team seems to have made, how many games everyone wins. It is different. That is different, I think, to what you would see. A lot of teams with similar records here. Not that much spread in the number of wins. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different win totals. In just the AFC, we had 11 different win totals in the 2016 season, a few more extra when you add the NFC, so you can see there's a bit of a difference here. The Titans obviously doing very well, maybe surprisingly, just because, who expected them to be 15-1 when everybody else, best is 11 and 12 wins. Interesting results so far though, so we can take a look at the records, not the records, the stats and awards now. So let's take a look at passing stats. We'll take a look at it in the whole NFL view, so we can see who's got the most. And the most, look at that, we've got, just remember that there's only been 9 5,000 passing yard seasons in NFL history, and 5 of those are from the same guy. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just in this season. So we see a difference there, of course. This is what you would expect. Let's take a look at the completion percentages. Remember, the record is, well, that's not going to work, is it? We'll look at it just on the yards, and we can see there's a bunch of guys with, well, we've got 73% from Matthew Stafford. That is the new NFL record. 72% best the previous record. 75% for Marcus Mariota. Obviously, they went 15-1. That is the new NFL record. You can see everybody getting, well, now we've got the 3,000 yard passes, but nobody passing for less than 3,000 yards. And Jimmy Garoppolo, you could argue, has the worst receivers in the NFL, and he has got the lowest yards passing. Now looking at touchdown leaders, Marcus Mariota with 47, 45, 45, 44, 40, and 40. Ridiculous numbers we've seen here. It's obviously what we expected. No point really looking at the other stats. Let's take a quick look at rushing just in comparison. A bunch of guys getting a whole bunch of yards, actually. I guess passing games do help the running games. That is an incredible amount of 1,000 yard rushes, in all honesty. That is extremely high. So, in the end, Eli Manning is NFL MVP. Even though Marcus Mariota, set records for accuracy, had the most touchdowns, his team went 15-1. Somehow Eli Manning and his team at 7-9, he managed to get it. Let's take a look. Wow, we're going to have to look at all of these. We're just going to look. Offensive Player of the Year is, of course, a quarterback. Offensive Rookie of the Year is, of course, a quarterback. We look in the NFC. Offensive Rookie of the Year is a quarterback. Offensive Player of the Year is, of course, a quarterback. And it's all quarterbacks. It's all we see. It's what we expected. Now I want to see if there's any, records being made. And, we've got 1 2017, 2 2017s in passing yards, passing touchdowns. Marcus Mariota coming in there. Receiving yards could theoretically be 1, and Antonio Brown is the one who gets closest there. Again, receiving touchdowns could have been 1, but isn't 1. Catches, again, could be 1, but is not 1. We'll also take a look at the single games, see if any records have been set there. No. Touchdowns, no. Phillip Rivers managed to tie the record, but that's about it. We're going to look at receiving yards again. Nope. Look at receiving touchdowns, nope. And we finally look at catches, again, no. Brandon Marshall still got the record. So not many records being broken with perfect quarterbacks everywhere. Let's take a look. I mean, we did take a look at the standings, so we kind of saw, but let's take a look at the playoff schedule. So let's take a look at the divisional standings. Bengals win their division at 7-9. Steelers go 6-10. Browns 5-11. Ravens 5-11. The interesting thing there is that the Browns managed 5 wins with a perfect quarterback. In the AFC South, 15-12 wins. Texans, Colts only getting 5 there. In the East, which we already saw, 9-5 for the Bills. Patriots only going 7-8. Looks like when everybody else has got a perfect quarterback, they lose their edge. The Jets go 5, the Dolphins get 4. In the West, the Chargers go 11-5, Raiders go 10-5, Broncos go 10-6, Chiefs go 8-7. NFC North looking very strong. Vikings with 11 wins, Lions with 10, Bears with 10, and the Packers only get 9. So it looks like that's another team where obviously they did well and got 9 wins, but once other teams have perfect passes, they lose their edge that they had before. In the South, Saints get 11 wins, Panthers 7, Falcons 6, Buccaneers 4. In the NFC East, 9, 8, 7, and 7. It's very close there, just a couple of games in it. And then the Cardinals win out in the NFC West with 8 wins. The Seahawks get 7, the Rams get 6, the 49ers get 5. Again, more wins than you'd expect in your simulation without a perfect quarterback there. Let's move on. Our wildcard week, Raiders at Bills, Bears at Eagles, Jaguars at Bengals, Lions at Cardinals. Let's see, are there any surprises here right now? Maybe the Bills winning the AFC East is a surprise. The Bears, obviously a little bit of a surprise. Maybe, as we know how this season is going so far, the seeing the Bengals there is a surprise. And, you know, Raiders, Jaguars, Cardinals, you can kind of expect. So we see the Bills beat the Raiders, the Eagles beat the Bears, the Jags beat the Bengals by quite a lot, and the Lions beat the Cardinals. So our divisional matchups now. The Jags at Titans, Lions at Vikings, Bills at Chargers, and Eagles at Saints. So again, no more surprises really here. The Chargers, of course, making that late playoff rally this season. But right now, the only surprising team right now are the Buffalo Bills. With a perfect quarterback, they are a lot better. So in the divisional games, the Jags beat the Titans. The Lions lose to the Vikings. The Bills finally go out of the playoffs there. The Chargers beating them. And the Saints beat the Eagles. So the only team to come from the wildcard round into the conference round are the Jaguars. They will be playing the Chargers. The Saints will be playing the Vikings. So we're going to have a pretty interesting Super Bowl here between any of these 4 teams. So the winners of the conference games, the Jacksonville Jaguars drop by 3 points to the Chargers. The Saints beat the Vikings by 6. So we're going to have a Super Bowl between the Chargers and the Saints. Which is funny that if every team in the NFL has a perfect quarterback, 2 of the teams that make it to the Super Bowl are 2 teams with already very good future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And the other 2 teams are actually teams where you could expect that difference to have made the big difference. So it's going to be the big game, the Super Bowl between the Chargers and the Saints. Let's see who will win this game and finish this video here finding out what team would win the Super Bowl. If every team in the NFL had a perfect quarterback, it's between 2 teams with very good quarterbacks, but which one comes out on top? And it's the Chargers with a 56-7 win. Now, I said before we started this, injury is turned off, so that had nothing to do with it. A 56-7 Super Bowl win for the San Diego Chargers. So, if every team had a perfect quarterback, the San Diego Chargers, who, you know, one of the positions they have no problem with season after season is the quarterback position, you know, with their injury problems. But if everybody had a perfect one, it is enough, apparently, to push the Chargers up to that Super Bowl victory. The Chargers get their first Super Bowl. I think I've been calling them San Diego Chargers, haven't I? Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, I'm going to get in some trouble there. So that is it. That is the result. If every quarterback in the NFL is perfect, the Los Angeles Chargers win the Super Bowl.